Hey, welcome back to the Fireplace feature wall build. On this video, I'm going to be going over all the prepping for paint finishing, filling nail holes, sanding, caulking, all that stuff that's going to make your paint job and your finished project look great. So let's start rolling all that footage. And for applying this stuff, I was using the putty knife. I found it's easier to just use my finger and just push it in the hole and give it a quick swipe. It's all going to get sanded anyway. Wood filler is done. I filled all the miters and nail holes like I said I was going to do. Went much faster. Just laying it on thick, pushing it in the hole and spreading it real quick with my finger because I wasn't going to try to make it pretty. I got to sand this all anyway. Here's a shot of what I used. So it's just DAP Plastic Wood X, all-purpose wood filler. It goes on pink and then dries this natural wood color. So it probably took me a half hour to do the whole thing. So I'll let it dry a little longer and then we'll sand. For sanding, I got just a sanding sponge or block, 120 grit on my palm sander, and a bright work light. Really lighting is critical so you can see any, oh this thing's really bright. But shine it at an angle and you can see any defects in your light, in your surface. And then this pine shiplap is primed. It's overall almost finished ready, but there are some defects in the wood and primer that I'm gonna sand out. And the sanding sponge takes off this excess wood filler very nicely. So probably won't even need the palm sander, but it should go faster with the palm sander. But let's start sanding. So setting the light down at the bottom works pretty good to see some of these defects. Splotches in the primer, but that's a good method. So I'm gonna clean all that up too. 2 hours of sanding and dust cleanup later. All the wood filler and boards are cleaned up. So in addition to sanding the wood filler, all the defects I sanded out. So there's a few spots that got down to, bare wood. For that, I'm just hitting it with Kilz original spray primer. I love this stuff for my projects. So just hitting all the wood filler and any bare spots in the wood with this. Let's knock it out. Another little detail, so on these edges where I've cut the shiplap, I'm going to hit that with primer because I'm going to paint these edges in this with black around the frame of the fireplace here. Just hitting it with a little primer. What I also like about spot primer, so you can see the wood filler that I've sanded, got the miter filled. It'll give you an idea of what your finished product is going to look like. So just hit up the edge. Miter's looking crispy. Happy with that. Now that my corner and edge trims are in and nailed, I'm using the same DAP Plastic Wood filler on this PVC trim to fill it as well. I've never worked with PVC trim before, but found out prep it just like wood. So I'm using the same DAP Plastic Wood filler on this PVC. It sands super easy, very light pressure. So pretty happy with that. Let's just dust off real quick. And then I'm hitting it with the same Kilz spot primer. and it's making my nail holes disappear. So PVC trim, very easy to work with, just like wood. Here is my edge trim with my bird's mouth cut that I wood filled, sand, and wiped down. Gonna hit it with some primer. And that joint's looking really good. Happy with that. Trims are looking good. Time to let this primer dry, and then light finish sanding and some caulking. We'll wrap this up and be ready to paint. On to our last step of caulking. I'm using DAP Alex Fast Dry, 20-minute paint ready. You can actually spray paint over it immediately, but for brush or roller, it says wait 20 minutes. Now I'm not caulking like edge to shiplap joints. Those are supposed to have a shadow gap with the natural nickel gap in the shiplap anyway. But like down here where the baseboard meets the shiplap, where the edge trim meets the actual wall, the top and bottom is what I'm doing. I hate caulking, but it's often a necessary step. All these joints should clean up nice with caulk, so let's do this. And we got a little sponge here to fill. There's the wall joint, and the trim the ceiling, and the bottom of that. So caulk, clean that up real nice. All the caulking is done. So after I was done caulking, I hit it with the spray primer as well, just to kind of prevent from messing it up. not necessarily needed, because that caulk I use, you can paint over it just fine. Actually, it's really good for taking paint, so that's why I use it. But finish work is done. It is basically paint ready. The only thing I haven't done yet that I do before painting is a final, once all this primer is dry, what I used to do was take like 220 or 250, lightly go over it one more time, and then use a wet rag just to get out any imperfections in my primer. The spray primer goes on pretty nice, but sometimes you'll get like little pieces of hair or a little dirt and debris left over in it, just to give you a nice finish. But what I found works best is a wet, get a normal house sponge, wet it with warm water, and it works great. So that's the last thing I'll do, is just go over it with a wet sponge to get any of the debris out before final painting. But yeah, we are done with all the finishing. The wall is ready for paint. We're going to be painting it black, as well as these walls. This whole room is getting remodeled. It's my daughter's room, and she picked out black. So be sure to stay tuned in the next video for painting, and then final install of everything. So the fireplace, the TV will get mounted. I already got a mantle picked out, and then I also have to build the seating area, and I have plans to redo this bottom part. I may just paint it for now and trim it out, but I eventually won't do. I'm thinking about doing some like stone or something. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. All right, that's it for this one. Bye.